What is going on, YouTube and Spotify? This is the Just BSN podcast, and today we have episode 31 with my boy Andrew today, and we have some things to discuss because tomorrow is the official start of the NFL draft. The 2024 NFL draft is getting ready to happen. Now, unfortunately, the Browns do not have a first-round pick, but that is okay because knowing AB, there could always be stuff up his sleeve. You never know what he's going to do. And the vibes are running high. The Guardians are doing well. Obviously, they just lost tonight, but we're not going to really talk about them. Cavs are up 2-0 up on the Magic, which I'm very surprised about. So we're going to start with them. But first of all, Andrew, how you feeling tonight, man?
Dude, I'm feeling good, dude. We got NFL draft tomorrow, which I'm excited about. We have the Cavs up 2-0 in the playoffs, which gives me a boost of confidence going into Orlando. So things are vibing, man. We're doing well.
Yes. Obviously last week, we didn't have that great of a vibe going into the playoffs. We didn't know what type of Cavs team we were going to get, especially with the Magic, man. The Magic are like, they're young and scrappy, and anytime you get a young, scrappy team like that, it's always scary to go into a playoff series like that because you never know what to expect, especially when your team is kind of struggling. But Donovan has been bringing it literally both games. I mean, I've not seen him scared at all. Jared Allen looks great. Mobley looks better. Okoro's been playing lights out. Like, guys are starting to step up. We obviously have new guys this year in comparison to last year that have really stepped up and helped. It seems like we're in about an 8 or 9 man rotation right now. So pretty much what I expected, although I thought Morris was going to get some more playing time. But other than that, 2-0 on the Magic. We've held on to home court, which is obviously great. Like, that's great. Hanging on to home court is the most important thing in the playoffs. But the Cavs have to at least get this next one, or at least game 4 in Orlando in order to really close this series out. Do you think they're going to sweep? Or do you think that this could go 5-6 games? Or do you think the Magic are going to start to make some noise and potentially make this a full 7-game series?
I mean, I think I can give the most boring answer, and I think all of it depends on tomorrow. Because if the Cavs win tomorrow, even if it's just by like a point, I think there's a good chance of a sweep.
Yeah.
Because it shows you're not afraid of their home court. It shows you're not afraid to take it to them in their own facility, in their own building. But I've said this from the beginning. I think it's going to be a 5-game series. I think we'll stake one out on the road, but I think once we get to that next home game, I think that's when we end it, put the dagger in, we finish it off, and so I think we'll sneak one on the road. It could be game 3, it could be game 4, but I think we snake one on the road, and we make it probably a 3-1 series coming back to Cleveland, and we just throw the dagger in right there.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with the whole going 5 games. I think it's very respectable to give the underdog team at least one home win. I mean, especially for game 3, that is going to be the one. Like, listen, if the Cavs come in ready to fucking rock and they come in ready to go and they win game 3, it's a sweep. There's no reason why you shouldn't be able to just put the dagger in right there if you win game 3. If you lose game 3, it gives you a little bit of that, okay, we got to get game 4 because we got to end it at home on game 5 because the Magic have not been able to get us at home court yet. And let's not mistake anything. The Magic have not played bad ball at all.
No,
like,
not
they've
at all.
been, they're just young. And I think they're in sort of the same position that we were in last year where we were young. We didn't have all of that playoff experience. We obviously had, Donovan and a few other guys, very few other guys that had that experience. The difference is the Cavs have that experience now, and they also have guys that have been there before. You still have Morris, you still have Tristan, who are excellent locker room guys for us to have talking shit on the bench, apparently. Like, the Cavs have just been making sure that they stay in line. Now, they still haven't been playing outstanding ball. It's still kind of the same shit that I get tired of, which is the ISO ball. Dude, the ISO ball pisses me off, and I want your take on this, but my personally thing is, dude, we need to share the basket more. We only had 18 assists last game. That's not enough, I think, in my opinion. especially when you have guys who have the ability to have 8 assists, have fucking 4 and 5 assists.
Mhm.
Just doesn't make sense to me. Um, Especially when you think about when the Cavs have the most success, it's when they're turning their defense into offense and they're able to share the ball, spread the floor, keep everything sort of crisp and clean. That's when the Cavs are like literally one of the most deadliest teams in the league.
Mhm.
And when they play the ISO ball, they mix match with Garland and Mitchell. You're going to create turnovers and you're going to stall the offense overall, especially when you got guys that could be spot up shooters like Struss, like Merrill, who only got 4 minutes last game as well. It's just, or actually, he didn't even play last game. I think he got 4 minutes in the first game, is what it was.
Yeah.
So Merrill hasn't really played at all, which sucks. I really want to see him more. But Donovan has stepped up. Jared Allen has stepped up. Mobley played well, really both games, but game one especially. Garland's been a little bit quiet, but he's at least been able to keep turnovers down. What have been your positives so far out of this team? Who have you liked other than obviously Donovan, who has been the leader that he needs to be? He's been stepping up a lot more than he did last season.
I definitely think for me, it's Jared Allen who's the most stepped up because
Yes.
obviously remember last year he was getting bullied by Hartenstein of the Knicks, and he was getting bullied by Julius Randle, and I think he took a big step this year because don't get me wrong, Magic have big guys. They have Moritz Wagner, they have Franz Wagner, the Wagner brothers,
Yeah.
and those guys aren't easy. Those guys will throw you around. They're not afraid to body you and beat you up. And Mobley's or not. Allen's been taking it well. Last year we saw him get bullied and beat up. He could barely even get 5 rebounds in a game. Now he's sitting there posting up 16 points. In the last game, he had 20 rebounds. So I think he's shown more physicality in the paint. I think he's shown more toughness in the paint. He's not afraid to go up and get boards. He's gotten a lot of offensive rebounds in this series as well. So he's getting us those second chance buckets that we needed. So for me, the biggest um, guy who made the jump from last year is definitely Jared Allen because obviously he's had that quote, "The lights were just too bright for me," and
Yeah.
now he's definitely come in, stepped in, and he's definitely taken that bigger step and that bigger role, and has definitely come in with a bigger and better attitude. And he's not getting thrown around anymore. He's getting the boards. He's being physical, and we're seeing what we wanted out of Allen last year, and we're getting it now. And this is he's one of the biggest reasons why we're up 2-0 in this series because without those rebounds, without that physicality, we're probably sitting at 1-1 at least.
Absolutely. I mean, dude, I totally agree with that. I think Jared Allen has been sort of the X factor. Um, I want to throw out two more names for this one. Mobley played
Yeah,
great his first game. I thought he played well the last game as well. He just didn't score as much, but he's starting to hit some shots outside, which have been dope. But a guy that I've really liked so far, his toughness, his physicality, everything is Isaac Okoro.
yeah. Here's my
Um,
second one.
Dude, he had
That's
4 steals last game. I didn't know that. He had four
yeah.
steals last game. So I had to work during this game, and I was doing a route in Pittsburgh, so I couldn't even view the game at all. And it was tough. But uh, seeing him get four steals like that, being able to get some and ones, baskets, it's clutch for us, especially coming off the bench. Like anything you get off the bench is a huge plus. But his defensive presence, man, it's so key and it's so
Yeah,
viable, and it's really important for the Cavs to be able to keep his minutes up. I know he kind of got hurt last game, so we'll see what his status is. I don't really know if there's anything going on with him. I haven't seen him in the FanDuel bets, so I was kind of curious if he was actually out or if he was like questionable. I don't know.
I think he might be
Um,
questionable.
yeah, because I know he got kind of tangled up, or actually, I think he got like stepped on or like landed on in like a weird way. It was a weird play. But overall, the guys that have sort of struggled last year have been stepping up. Donovan has been the guy. Last year, he struggled to score above like 23 points last. I mean, I think he scored like 41 points in the first game against the Knicks.
Mhm.
But after that, dude, Donovan had a rough series against the Knicks. And I don't know if it was just the Knicks bringing it to us or if he was just like nervous. I don't know what it was, but he ain't showing it today, and he ain't showing it this series, and it's been good because we have needed it. You really need that leader, and I think he's just realized like, hey, this is what it is. And even after the game, we won by 10, and we were up 20 for most of that game, and he said, we still got more. Like, we still have so much more like capability in this team. Like, we have the ability to go above and beyond of what we're currently doing. So he's challenging his guys in good ways, and that's what you want to see out of a leader. And so like, I'm very cool with what he's done. But Jared Allen, man, yeah, dude, he had 20 boards last game. That's huge. 16
Yeah.
points, 20 boards. You don't need him to score 25 points a game, but him being able to rebound the ball like that, bring that physicality, and then pad it with Mobley, who's also honestly he's been playing very well too. Like he hasn't been scoring a lot, but his presence on the floor has been known. He hasn't been getting into foul trouble, which has always been his big thing too. It's been nice to see him not be able to worry about that too much. So that's good. So it's obviously a big reason why we're up 2-0. And there's no reason why we can't go up 4-0. But before we move on to Browns talk, I do want to ask, what have been your sort of negatives so far in this series? Like, what do you want to see more of? Who do you want to see more of? What has been some of your complaints so far, and what they can do better?
So a few of my bigger complaints have definitely been the turnovers. Now we did have 15 turnovers last game compared to their 16, so we were equal in turnovers in game two.
Yeah.
Game one, I have to look and see. But the turnover we had 17 to their 12. So that I think for me that's the biggest thing is not turning the ball over so much. Now I get doing part of that because both teams have been very physical with each other, so loose balls are going to happen, and it's just part of the playoff games where turnovers are going to be very high in playoff games, no matter who you're playing, no matter what game it is.
But it's going to be
Turnover,
different on the road.
yeah, it's going to be different on the road. But I think that's a big thing is turnovers. Obviously, the same guilty pleasure or parties of who are getting the turnovers. Garland led the team with 5 or 6. Mitchell wasn't too far behind with 4 or 5 of his own. So, your two big guys that you need to not turn the ball over are turning the ball over the most. I don't really blame Allen and Mobley too much for their turnovers because they're more like bad passes that they're trying to catch and grab in, or
It's Garland for me. I mean, in his
yeah.
turnovers.
Yeah, because he's driving into the paint, he just kicks the ball off his own foot or whatever, and it goes out of bounds. Like he's got to. Again, we talked about this so much.
He's got to
gotta
slow down. Yeah, he's got to slow down.
He's going too fast for his own good. He's got to chill out, slow down. I get it. You want the tempo, but you don't go too fast. But my other negatives are, some of your other guys not getting good minutes. The likes of, and we said this too, Thompson and Morris not getting any minutes. Because these guys are your big veteran players. These are the guys who have been to the finals, who have been deep in the playoffs before. They know what it takes to win these games, and they know what it would take to win on the road in these games, in these situations. So I think going on the road, and you would hope you'd see at least 10 to 15 minutes of Morris and Thompson. Especially Thompson too, because Thompson can get rebounds as well. He can get physical in the paint. He's not afraid of that physicality in the paint. And Morris, he's a decent shooter. He can get physical. So you kind of need the playoff physicality from your older men. Yeah. And you can't be afraid to use those older guys. I mean, they still use Joel Ingles on Orlando, and he's still looking really good for. I think he's 38 now. But
yeah, he's been playing for a while.
He's been playing for a minute, but. He's still solid, and I think that's a big negative on JB is not utilizing, the guys who have been in the moment before. Like I get it, you want to get your young guys out there, you want to get them used to but you have to get the veteran guys in there for a couple minutes and let them run things. You can afford Thompson to foul out, you can afford Morris to do the same. You can afford these guys to foul out and stuff like that because. They're going to get super physical, and they're going to beat them. They're going to beat up the Wagner brothers. They're going to go out there and beat up Banchero a little bit. That's what you want them to do. They're going to beat up Isaac. That's what you want these guys to do. And again, I, it's not like it's soccer where you get a red card and you're suspended for the next game or whatnot. If you foul out, you're not suspended for the next game. You
Right.
can still play. So utilize utilize that. Get your big guys in. Let them foul out because they're gonna let them get because they're just gonna go out there. Thompson doesn't care. He'll go out there and punch somebody in
Yeah.
the head for no reason.
Yeah.
But guess what? That's what you want because it
He's the
gets the team.
enforcer. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's the
it gets
enforcer.
it gets the team fired up. It takes away fouls from Mobley and Allen, so we can keep them on the court for a lot longer. But I would say use the big guys. Let them bully into paint. Let them beat people up. Let them injure some guys. Let them foul out. Let them get ejected. Let them do whatever. Because guess what? It's gonna bring momentum to your side, and it's gonna wear them down. It's gonna wear down the Magic a lot. And then you can start driving into the paint and getting those easy buckets in the paint. They're gonna let you off and let you take some shots
Yeah.
because they're gonna be afraid. Magic are ranked. I heard this the other day. The Magic are ranked 16th because there's 16 teams in the playoffs between the Eastern and Western Conference. The Magic are 16th in shooting percentage, free throw percentage, and 3-point percentage. They're ranked dead last in all three of those.
Yeah.
So if you just let guys get physical, let Thompson get in there, get physical, let Morris get in there, get physical, they already can't shoot right now. What makes you think they're going to shoot so much more after they
Right.
get beat up?
Right.
So I think those are my two big negatives: is the turnovers and not utilizing your playoff veterans and letting them run some work.
I mean, I definitely agree, especially with Morris, because when you got guys like Niang who are struggling right now,
Mm-hmm.
not really shooting the ball well, but still getting 29 minutes a game, that's insane to
Yeah.
me. Being able to be like, you know what, let's give Niang a shot on the bench, and let's go bring Morris out for 10 minutes. Like, dude, you even give him fucking 5 or 6 minutes, let him get a good stretch. He might pop a couple threes and make them, and like that
Yeah.
makes a difference. Like that, playoffs are all about momentum, and sometimes you got to switch it up right on the fly and be like, you know what, fuck it. If these guys aren't doing it right now, let's give them a chance to sit down for a second and let somebody else come in. So Morris is one for me as well.
Yeah.
Merrill, dude,
Let him get some minutes.
4 minutes in 2 games is absurd, especially when you don't let him play at all last game. To me, that just
And he spreads the floor out so well,
he
too.
spreads the floor out so well. So like, uh, again, this goes back to my iso ball thing.
Yeah.
Get away from the iso ball. Let's bring guys in that can spread the floor. Let Mitchell do his thing, or let Garland do his thing, or even Levert do his thing, because they can all three do it. And you guys have endless numbers to pass to, whether it's Stress, whether it's Niang, whether it's Merrill, Morris, whatever it is. You have the ability to spread the floor.
And you
You
have to
can
trust
do
those
that.
guys to hit the shot, too.
Trust the guys.
You have to
JB,
trust them.
trust the fucking guys. It pisses me off when he doesn't utilize his guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm fine having 8 or 9 guys as a rotation in the playoffs. That's more than enough, I think, in my opinion.
Oh, absolutely.
But when there's a significant drop between minutes between your starting lineup and your guys that come off the bench, it's absurd. Especially when it's like, starting lineup is over 30 to 38 minutes, whatever it is. And then you got bench players who are at about 20 to 30 minutes even. And then you have 4 out of Merrill. Merrill has so much capability to change a fucking game, and we've both been the Merrill guys. And I said, dude, give him minutes. He's gonna light it up. Like he has the ability to just light it up for a few minutes. And that's all you need, especially in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Playoffs are everything.
Yeah.
Literally, a 5 minute stretch can sometimes be the most key minutes of the entire game. It just depends on how the game goes. And it depends on how the stretch goes, how guys show up. And Merrill has that ice capability. And it frustrates me to no end that he hasn't used Merrill more. So I hope he does it here on the road, because I'm telling you what, you're going to need it. Because the Magic are going to come out and they're going to be fired up. They're going to be ready to go. When's the last time the Magic have had a playoff series? Since Dwight was there?
2020. I think they were in the playoffs during the COVID year.
I mean, that's insane to me because I feel like they've been absolute ass for the last decade. Pretty much ever since Dwight's been gone. I haven't really like noticed the Magic in anything. So
I
clearly
just
I'm
want to
dumb.
I just want to make sure like I'm actually correct in this.
Yeah, yeah, dude. Let's look because, dude. I mean,
Okay, so
obviously,
their this so in their last playoff appearance was 2020. Before that, it was 2010.
yeah, dude. So it was literally a decade. And 2010 was when LeBron was here, his last year before he left. And I remember we struggled against Magic. I think
That
I'm
was the
pretty
last
sure
time.
that's when the Magic played the Lakers and got their ass kicked by Kobe and Paul, if I'm not
Uh,
mistaken.
I think you're right. Again, I'm gonna take a
Because
look.
I'm pretty sure the Magic won the East that year because Dwight was on a fucking tear. Turkoglu was a god. They had a few other guys that were nasty. Like that was a tough team, but I just remember the Cavs lost to them. I think in round 2 or 3. I think it was round 2. We lost to them.
Yeah, I just want to make sure because I know the finals was. I think the finals was Lakers and Celtics.
Was it Lakers Celtics? I swear to God it was Magic. I swear the
Um,
Magic went
I
to
think
the
it was
playoffs at some
2000.
point.
It was 2009 probably then.
Yeah, it might have been.
Um,
So I know Dwight reached the playoffs with them at least
yeah,
once, or the
it
NBA
was
Finals at least once.
it was 2009 because it was the Lakers and Magic in the finals, and the
Okay.
Lakers won 4-1 in
Right,
that
because I
series.
mean, obviously, because the Lakers were so much more built for that than the Magic were. I don't even know how the hell the
And I
Magic
mean, the
got there.
Magic lost like every game by like
A
double
lot,
digits.
yeah, it was a lot. So the point is that realistically speaking, the Cavs should sweep this series. There should be no doubt about it. Go into Game 3 just as prepared as you have been the first 2 games. Mitchell needs to continue to challenge these guys, not beat them down, but just say, hey guys, we got more in the tank. Like let's keep going. Let's do this because I'll tell you what, the Magic just lost to or not the Magic, uh, Boston just lost to the Heat tonight because
By
Tyler Hero went off.
wasn't it by
They
10 too?
dude, I think the Heat had like 23 threes tonight as a team. It was something nasty. Uh, the Mavs beat the Clippers last night. The Lakers are down 2-0. Like the playoffs are still fun. Like it's still crazy.
Yeah,
Like
dude.
anything can happen.
Miami had 23 of 43 for threes.
And
And
also the fact that the Bucks ended up winning last game as well after Dame went off for like 35 in the first half and didn't score another point
yeah.
after that. That was one of the weirdest games I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, Tyler Hero had 24. Adebayo and Martin had 21 apiece. Um, I mean, Jalen Brown and Tatum were both dogs. Brown had 33, Tatum had 28. But I mean, the Heat still won by double digits, still won by 10. And right
Yeah.
now, I'm just looking, and OKC are up by 13 against New Orleans right now at halftime.
Yeah. So I mean, the playoffs are still alive, man. Like that's the beautiful part about NBA playoffs. It's so unpredictable, man. So Cavs just got to come into Orlando tomorrow and go into it ready to go because Orlando has no business beating us at all.
No,
The Cavs are clearly the better team, but anything can happen on the road. So at least steal one. I think if you steal game 3, it's a sweep. If you don't steal game 3 and it ends up being a 2-1 series, you gotta win game 4 because you got to close it out at game 5. There's zero reason to go game 7 against this team. There's zero reason to go game 6 against this team. The Magic are clearly an underdog. They're clearly not supposed to win against this right now. So I just hope the Cavs come in ready to go. I hope that JB has their shit together and stops messing around with these fucking lineups and just quit overthinking it, JB. My God, we've said this for how many weeks now, Andrew? Quit
oh,
overthinking. Quit overthinking the lineups, man. Just play the hot hand. It's okay.
it's definitely okay. He just wants to. I don't know. He wants to make everyone go crazy. It seems like. I don't know. He's just making me go crazy.
Yeah, so it's been not fun. But yeah, outside of Cavs talk, we got the big thing. because I don't want to spend too much more time on CAVS talk because we got a little treat for y'all. So instead of really talking about who we might want from the Browns or how we think the first draft is going to, or the first round of the draft is going to go, we decided to do some mock drafts, or we are going to do them right now as we speak. So, how this is going to work is Andrew is going to pop his screen up, and we are going to do the first round of every team. Now, this is going to be without trades because we don't have all of the subscriptions and all that shit, and we're not going to overcomplicate this. So no trades are going to be involved in any of these. We are just going to say, hey, if each team goes with their pick, this is how we think it's going to go. And then after we're done with this, I am going to pop my screen open, and we're going to do a Browns mock draft. And we are going to go, because obviously the Browns don't have a first-round pick, so we're going to see what we think the Browns are going to have this, this draft. Again, without trades, we know AB is the draft a trade master. So we expect that this is going to happen, but due to the time restraints and all that shit, we are not going to worry about trades. So Andrew's got his screen up right now. It looks beautiful. It looks weird, but it's kind of cool that we can like share the screen with this, and we've always wanted to try this, so it's actually kind of nice that we're doing this. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and start this off with the first round mock. And the first team that we start off with is obviously the Chicago Bears, which, I mean, we know who they're gonna pick. We know who they're gonna pick. We've obviously said how we're very turned off away from Caleb Williams, but it just seems like that is gonna end up being the vibe. I'll tell you what though. And I'm gonna say this before we move on. If Caleb Williams just not go 1 overall, it is going to be mayhem at this draft. But he might throw a temper tantrum. He might cry at the draft if he does not go 1st overall. Oops, you're screaming.
I'm changing it up real quick.
Oh, okay. I was about to say,
the other one seemed a little small, so we're just gonna go with this one real quick.
Okay.
I think it's good. Bigger. It's still about the same, but
yeah, it's fine. It's not a big deal. So yeah, we all know Caleb Williams is gonna go first overall. It is what it is. Yeah.
This is where it gets tougher because for me, again, this is obviously another quarterback pick here, but I always think Drake May was going to be number 2 overall, but for some reason, I've been hearing a lot of rumors that Washington really liked Jaden Daniels, and I think Drake May is a great pocket passer. I think he's a bigger arm. He's a bigger guy. But for some reason, Washington just likes the way that Jaden Daniels can move. But I think Drake May is a better quarterback. But for some reason, it seems like Washington are so set on Jaden Daniels that I'm just going to go ahead and give them Jaden Daniels here in this situation because it seems like that's the guy they've been wanting. That's who they want. I think Drake May is the guy. I actually think Drake May is the better of the 2 that just got picked. I think Drake May is insanely good. I think he's severely underrated because of those 2. And I think Jane Daniels goes to Washington, but this could be an opportunity to go 3 QBs in a row. So Zach, I don't know if you want to make another statement about the Patriots on the clock here, but what do you? I don't know if you have another guy that you think would go here
or. So I know you like Derek May. I think Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback in this draft, in my opinion. This is my opinion. I'm not a professional here.
I'm not.
I think Jaden Daniels is the best quarterback overall. I think he's got the best arm. I think he's got the best feet. I think he's got the best awareness of any quarterback in this draft. And I think Washington gets it right here if they do go here. Now, if they do go Derek May, I wouldn't be opposed to it. And I really think it kind of fits the mold, and I wouldn't be surprised at all. But I think Derek May goes next here at Pats.
Yeah, I agree. I think the Pats go with Drake May here. And
Drake May. I don't know why the fuck I kept saying Derek May. God, I do this all the time, guys. This is so funny.
It's been a long week, guys.
Dude, I've been working 60 hours a week for the last 3 weeks. It's been nuts. So yeah.
Yeah, Yeah, no, I agree. Drake May goes here again. I think Drake May over both of these other two guys. I think he's a better pocket passer. I think he's I think he's a better accurate quarterback. But obviously, I like Jaden Daniels too. I like him. I like both of these guys over Caleb Williams, to be honest with you. But apparently we're not GMs for some, and we're definitely not GMs for a reason. But moving on to Arizona, I mean, again, I think this is another easy pick. I think they go Marvin Harrison because
Yeah.
they have no wide receivers there. They lost Hollywood Brown. They have literally no. You probably can't even name the first wide receiver they have because I can't.
No, and like
And
if you even overthink Marvin Harrison there, you are an idiot. Like you are an idiot. The only way that this does not happen is if there is a trade somewhere, which it sounds like Arizona is taking trade calls. I just don't know what's going to happen. Uh, but that's the only way that I see them not taking Marvin. Otherwise, I think it makes sense, and I think dude, Kyler Murray with Marvin would help him so much.
yeah,
It makes all the sense. So
looking at the number one wide receiver in Arizona right now in their depth chart was Michael Wilson.
yeah,
And
so
Greg Dortch and Chris Moore are the next two. So obviously, wide receiver is a big need for them.
absolutely.
So we're gonna give him Marvin Harrison. Again, this was another tough one because I think I think the LA Chargers can go so many different routes here.
They
They
definitely
lost.
need receivers though.
They do need receivers. Um, I mean, they lost Mike Williams. They lost. I mean,
Keenan Allen as well.
Allen
Yeah,
are
they're gone.
gone. So I think again, it's safe to say they either go Rome Odunze or Malik Neighbors, whichever.
Yeah,
I think the bet. We'll just go with the best. We'll go with Malik Neighbors
yeah,
here.
which I agree with. This is where it gets funny.
This is dicey.
So my opinion with the Jets, I think they go JJ McCarthy because I'm pretty sure he's even said, I forget whose podcast it was on or whose show it was on. He said that he has visited with them the most. New York
Yeah.
loves those type of quarterbacks. Although I think it's a bad pick because I don't like JJ at all. I think he's been in a below average quarterback for Michigan for many years. He's athletic. I just don't think he has it. He can very well prove me wrong. I don't see much in him, but New York goes with JJ. I think that's the move. I don't know if you have another pick with them besides that,
No,
but that's what
I'm
I've been
in.
hearing so far.
I'm in absolute agreement with you. I think it's definitely going to be the likes of JJ McCarthy because they just need a quarterback.
Yeah,
And like you said, they visited with him the most. They know him the most. So I think is definitely what they go for. Now again, this is another tough one. Is number 7 with the Tennessee Titans
because they
because
have a lot of needs.
they have a lot of needs because they can still go wide receiver. I actually think they need a guard or a tackle more than they need a wide receiver because they have no frontline help
No, yeah,
whatsoever. Like they have no offensive line. So my take here is just going with Joe Alt
yeah,
because they definitely need some kind of tackle. They need somebody on that front line to protect the quarterback. And obviously, they can get a receiver later on in this draft, and they could probably get a decent one again in the second round. So there's no need for Tennessee to not take some kind of offensive line help in this draft right now in the first round.
absolutely. So yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think it's either between a tackle or if they decide they want to go more special teams and go wide, wide out. I can see them getting, uh, Rome, or even going after Brock Bowers. I mean, I can see them doing any of the three. It just depends on how they want to build that offense. But that offense needs a lot of work, so there's a lot of rounds to do it. I just think the safest bet is just to go with the tackle there. I don't see anything wrong with that one.
Yeah, and up next is the Falcons. They need, I mean, in reality, they just need defensive help.
Yeah,
And
I think corner or DN.
yeah, I think right here, I think they go with either Quinion Mitchell or they go Cooper Dejan, or they go with Laiatu Latu.
Yeah,
I think their defensive line is more weaker than their cornerback room. So I'm actually tempted to give them Laiatu Latu
yeah,
over Cooper or Quinion.
I'm
So
cool with that. Yeah,
I'm gonna stick them with Laiatu Latu. And now we're back to once again, the Chicago Bears. And I think this is where we go with Rome Odunze because now they got the quarterback. I think they need another wide receiver. So I think it's smart to just go with Rome here.
I can also see them going Brock Bowers here because they,
Yeah.
obviously they have Cole Kmet, but they did go out and get Keenan Allen. They obviously have that paired with DJ Moore. So, I mean, they have guys at wideout now. It
Mhm.
does make sense to go out and get another young guy. I have no problem with that, but I would not be surprised if Brock Bowers goes there. I can see
Yeah.
him going top 10 after that. Absolutely.
Oh, I can too. And actually, this is where I was gonna have Brock Bowers to
Yeah,
go.
me too. I think that's a great pick for them. If New York
Yeah,
can get Brock Bowers, Aaron Rodgers is going to have a hell of a season.
absolutely. This is because that was my thought process. I was like, I think the Bears go with a Dunzy or Rome here because again they need some wide out help.
Yeah.
But I think even though it's not listed, I think the Jets do need a tight end badly. And if they can get a good tight end like Brock Bowers, they'll be so good offensively. And
Oh yeah.
especially with Aaron Rodgers, those two would be a great combination. Yeah, they lost Elijah Moore, which is why they need wide receiver help because Garrett Wilson does need a number two partner. But I think they need a big, strong tight end before they need another wide receiver.
And A-Rod loves his tight end, so that makes all the sense in the world.
All right, now we go to another tough pick here with
Vikings
the
Vikings
Vikings.
need a lot of help.
They need everything.
They need quarterback, they need wide receiver again. They could get tight end, they could go after O-line, they could go defensive end because they just lost Hunter. My god. I feel like they're going to trade up or back here.
See,
More than likely.
if I was able to do trades, I think they would move up in the draft, and I think they would actually trade with the Giants to get JJ McCarthy.
Yeah.
I think that's more of my likely move for the Vikings is that they move up to get JJ McCarthy. So I think it's just in this position of where they're at, what they're going to do. I think we'll just give them a quarterback
Yeah.
in Bo Nix
And like
because
I don't hate that because Bo Nix is a solid quarterback.
mhm.
Penix, I think he drops a little bit, but I don't think he drops too far actually because I can also see him going to the Raiders or even the Broncos if they want a quarterback there.
Well, and that's the thing here. I was going to ask you who should we give a quarterback to because even the next three teams could use some kind of quarterback help.
I mean,
And
the Colts won't. I think the Saints are fine with Carr, so I think the
mhm.
Raiders or Broncos are the most likely out of those two to get a top quarterback right here. Um, it's the question of is that going to be a reality, or do they decide to either trade back, trade up, whatever the case may be? The Broncos have the ability to trade up.
Well, the Broncos
Uh,
just got Zach Wilson too.
yeah, but like, are you really
Their
going to
quarterback
trust him?
their quarterback room is the strangest and weirdest like QB room I've ever seen because like
Yeah,
it's just a bunch of nobodies and nobody good, and they literally went and traded for Zach Wilson. And like, why? Why would you trade
yeah,
for the most mediocre quarterback in the fucking? You already have two of those in your locker room. Why do you need a third?
yeah.
So I don't know what's going on in the Broncos room. For some reason, again we can give him a Donnie or we can give him um Penix. So it's
So
essentially
let's
up to
say, you know what? So let's say they go wide receiver here because they just lost Jerry Judy.
okay.
Who's best available a wideout here?
The best available wideout would be a Donnie
Oh
Mitchell.
yeah, so they got totally odds. I can see them going any of those top four guys
Yeah. So we'll just give him the
easily.
best wide
Yeah,
receiver here, and then I think this is where we go with Penix Jr.
yeah.
here.
I think
I
this is
think
where Penix goes.
I,
If those first three or four quarter, QBs goes the way that it is, Penix
mhm,
makes the most sense here. Teams that need quarterback help tend to go a little bit higher than they need to because
yeah,
Penix could potentially drop through the first round
he
if it goes
could.
differently, especially with trades and stuff. Like this could definitely go a lot different, but without trades, I think Penix goes to the Raiders, and I think that's actually a good fit for him. I think that's a totally fine place for him. He doesn't have to start right away, but he could. So
Yeah, and now we go to the Saints. Again, they need wide receiver help. Again, they could go offensive tackle. They could go D lineman. What do you think is their biggest need as of right now?
I can see them going O line here, just because I mean, yeah, they're gonna lose Thomas, but they still have Olave, and they have that Shateen kid as well, who they really liked, who's kind of that like halfback hybrid sort of
Mhm.
guy. Um, I could also see them going tight end, but I think O line makes the most sense here.
Yeah,
Uh,
and we'll give him
yeah,
Talise because
Colts. I would say either gonna go O line or they're gonna go defense somewhere.
I think their biggest need is at DB. I think that's their
Yeah.
biggest. I think that's their biggest need, and this is where I can
So
see.
yeah.
This is where I see Cooper, Dejan, or Quinion Mitchell go. And
So
to be
let's
honest,
just give them Coop. But yeah, if you want to give
actually,
them Mitchell, go for it.
I'll give him Quinion because Quinion, from what I've heard, Quinion had actually had the better camps. He's had the better um combine. He's had the better whatever the Reese's thing in Mobile, Alabama is the college showcase that they do down there. So I think he's had the best one. And it's no disrespect to Cooper, but I think Quinion Mitchell's better and faster and but it's not to say that Cooper's not going to go within the next couple picks because obviously a team like Jacksonville, who's up next after Seattle here, could definitely use someone like Cooper.
Yeah,
And
I was about to say I can. I mean, I can see Seattle going DB here, uh, whether it's corner or safety. I could see them going DB. Um, I really see their first pick being defensive heavy. Uh,
yeah,
I could also see them. I mean, if they really needed a tight end, they could, but I just don't see tight end going right now. Um,
now if you go defense, what defensive like need? Because it looks like they just need a linebacker, an edge, or a safety, or a corner, or
so yeah, let's say they go linebacker here first. I mean, it's potential. I
I think
mean,
that's their weak. I think that's their weakest spot is linebacker.
yeah,
So we'll give them Peyton Wilson
yeah.
out here with their pick,
This
and
is
then
probably going to be totally wrong, guys, but we're just winging it. We are just trying to have fun here, so
and we're gonna
don't
save
judge
this
us.
just in case if we're actually right. But no, I think this is where Cooper Dejan goes. I mean, there's no other spot for him to go. He's
Bengals. Okay.
now we move on to the Bengals, who now for those who don't know, we're recording this on Wednesday night before Thursday before the draft, and as of earlier today, Trey Hendrickson has announced that he wants to be traded from the Bengals. So now they need another. It's not listed on here now. They need an edge now because
Yeah.
they are losing. They're basically going to lose
Edge,
Trey Hendrickson.
edge, and wide receiver as well because Higgins also wants to go. He's wanted to go for the last like month and a half or 2 months now. So that wasn't a surprise. I don't know why they like retweeted that out.
Well,
Uh,
and they franchise tagged him, but he's not going to uphold
yeah,
that franchise tag. He's going to get moved.
yeah.
So you could go wide receiver and you can go edge here. I think it's more what they feel like they need the most. I think.
I think
And
edge is the better way to go because I think edge at a higher pick tends to be a lot better of a pick than getting a wide receiver in the first round. Because wide receiver, you can hit on a wide receiver in the mid rounds, be
yeah,
fine. So I think D end's more of an important here, or even D tackle if it's beneficial.
yeah. I went ahead and gave him Dallas Turner, edge rusher from Alabama. He's
Yeah.
very good, very solid. I like him there. And
This is Rams next.
this is the Rams. So again, their needs are QB, tackle, D line, linebacker, and corner.
I think.
I don't know what their glaring need is. I think their more glaring need
Well,
is
D line probably because you're gonna lose one
yeah,
of the best D linemen to ever play the game of football.
yeah. So do we want to go the interior edge? I think isn't he interior
Yeah, he's
more or less?
interior. Let's
So
just see what the guys available
we'll
there are.
we'll go with Jerzon Newton.
Yeah,
Obviously, again, guys, this is not going to be perfect. We're just giving them like their needs. We're not going to
yeah,
get the exact person right, but we're going
yeah. We
based
don't
on
give a
needs.
shit about these teams. Yeah,
The one we'll take more seriously is the Cleveland Browns one because we'll know more of what we need and more of what we can handle. Now we got the Steelers on the clock here, and this wide receiver center tackle and CB. Again, I don't think they need a receiver really because they have Washington, they have Pickens, they have decent receivers.
they need
Their
a line.
quarterback their quarterback play just sucked ass.
Yeah,
That's the only down. So it's not like they need a receiver. I agree with you. I think their biggest need is definitely an offensive tackle, and I think they go with Troy Faltonu.
No, yeah,
Um,
you got to protect Russell there.
you got to protect Russell. I think you have great wide receivers. You don't need to dabble into a wide receiver again until like maybe the next round. I think you need to protect your
Hmm.
quarterback, so I think you need to go with Troy Faltonu.
Dolphins. Who are their needs again? I can't really read it very well, so.
I know the screen is. Let me see if I can't like zoom in a little bit for you guys here.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's perfect.
There
All
we
right, so
go.
they need tight end, guard, tackle, and defensive interior. So I think it makes the most sense potentially. I can see them going Brian Murphy unless there's a offensive guard or tackle that is like listed higher. Um,
So this is
I
the
can
only
see them.
so this is all positions. This would be the
Okay.
next tackle that's high on the list because it's going by best available
Yeah,
basically. So,
I can see them going either Brian Murphy or Fashanu or however the hell
well,
you say his name, or
what do
even
we
Latham.
what do we think their biggest need would be? Because I don't think it's
Ooh,
definitely
their O line sucked though.
their O line is horrible. I think I would go with
Yeah.
Olomouc Fashanu.
Yep.
I think I think their line is horrendous, and
Philly.
you got to protect Tua, man.
Yeah. I think
Philly's
Philly goes Arnold here
I think so too.
because you really don't want to take a wide out too high there, and they're obviously they're deep. Their defensive interior is nuts, so they don't need that.
And you lost C.J. Gardner back to Detroit, so
Yeah. All right. So we gave who did we give the Vikings to the first time? Did we give them a quarterback, or did we give them something else?
we gave them Bo Nix.
Okay. So they have that.
Because we gave him Bo Nix in place of J.J. McCarthy because we had both had that feeling that they're going to trade up with the Giants to get J.J. McCarthy.
So I can see them going either Byron Murphy or Jared Verse here.
I think
I see them going defensive here regardless.
I think they go with Murphy because again, best available. I think Murphy they need a interior guy more often because I think Daniel Hunter was he the interior or is he an edge?
Edge. Yeah, he was
Okay,
edge. So yeah, but it's still fine though because I still think they either trade for one, sign
yeah.
one, whatever, or they decide to draft one there. But either way, I think they go defense there, so that makes total sense regardless. Um,
I think this is
Latham,
all. I think this is Latham because they
you have
need.
to, yeah,
I think they need O line help desperately,
yes.
and so Latham on the board. And then
And
again, we're getting to the tougher positions here.
I can see them going a tackle here too.
Yeah, we'll give them Amarius Mims because again, they need a tackle. They everyone. This is gonna be a very and I've heard this too. This is a very offensive tackle heavy draft, and a lot of the teams in this draft do need offensive line help desperately. So don't be surprised if you see a lot of like offensive linemen go in the first round because it's bad. It's like really
Yeah,
bad of how bad teams need offensive line help.
and this is where I see Verse going,
Yeah, because
or
again,
like some sort of edge or even linebacker. I think they go defense here.
I think it's definitely edge here. So I think Jared Verse is perfect for them. So we gave Arizona, I almost like Carolina. We gave Arizona
Wide receiver,
a wide
obviously.
receiver, and we
Yeah,
gave him
Marvin
Marvin
Harrison.
Harrison. So again, they could go defense or tackle, but they both need help everywhere in real terms.
So I mean, at that point, I think it's just best player available. So if you're doing that and also
I'd go Graham
position in
Harton,
need, yeah,
or well, let's see what they
or
have as.
Wiggins. Yeah.
So we
Oh,
can even give him.
actually,
Let's go Jackson
yeah,
Powers Johnson.
yeah, go that, yeah, because they definitely need that more.
Yeah. Now again on
I can see
another.
them going Brian Thomas here. Either
Yeah,
that, either that, or I could see them going like Wiggins or even Kool Aid. It just depends on what they view as highest. But any of those three guys, I think is very valuable. I think this is where Kool Aid goes.
yeah, I think so too. I think this is where Kool Aid McKinstry goes. What a great name that is, by the way. Kool
And
Aid
by the
McKinstry.
way, if he does go to Detroit, that is a nasty pick for Detroit.
He's so good. He is
He's
so
so he's so
solid.
he's so good. Yeah.
And
Okay.
now
So they
I
need a
think this is
wide
another.
receiver, guard, tackle, edge, and corner.
I think they always go with
They
wide
always go
receiver in
deep.
the
Yeah.
well, I'm not saying wide receiver in the draft. I say they go wide receiver within like the free agent market because that's what they always do.
Yeah.
So I think it's more of what they need more importantly, which is either an edge or I think they need another interior offensive lineman. So
So Zach Frazier could be one, I guess.
look at interior.
Who else?
I was thinking more of like Christian Haynes because
Yeah.
I don't think they need a center. I think they just need someone that's in a guard or more of a guard position.
Yeah, so let's get
So
him hands.
I would go with Haynes here, and
Guard,
then
tackle, corner. I think this is where
again,
Barton could go.
this is where Barton goes because again they just need offensive line help, and then same thing here. It's either offensive line or for me it's defensive help. Unless they need a wide receiver because of especially what happened
I
to
bet this
Rashi
is where
Rice.
Nate Wiggins will go because they just lost Snead. So
Yeah.
they're going to prioritize corner as much as they can here
All
for
right, and
Chiefs. So that's first round.
there you go, guys.
So
That's
that's
the
how
first round.
we think this is going to go. Again, this is without trades. Trades are going to happen. I can 100% guarantee trades will happen.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to guys like New York, Falcons, any of those teams. I can see them trading back.
And what I'm gonna
Absolutely.
do is I'm gonna zoom out of this and I'm gonna take a screenshot on my phone
Do it.
and
Yes.
we're going to keep this in mind. Now, again, we're not gonna get the fucking players right. I
Yeah.
guarantee it. But it would be cool if we got at least all the positions correct.
Yeah.
So we're gonna keep that. And Zach, if I move the screen, you can go ahead and pull up yours, and we could do the Cleveland Browns.
All right. So let me go ahead and get mine up here. So all right. So yeah, we are obviously running flying on time right now because it's already 51 minutes. But I'm just gonna try to speed this up a little bit. It's obviously gonna go. It's gonna do its thing. Blah 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 blah. So this is how they think this draft is gonna go, which is crazy to me. All right.
Not even close to what we have, but it's okay.
Actually, I want to pause this. I want to make it faster. Let's make it fast. There we go. Yeah, let's do it this way because this waiting for them to pick like that is annoying, especially
can you just choose the Cleveland Browns as like as just like a team to do? Yeah.
Yeah. And then I could do all 7. Here we go. There we go.
There we go.
That's what I wanted to do.
Oh, of course it's good.
God damn it.
It's gonna make us wait.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna do this. One more time, guys. Browns 7 round. Obviously, we didn't rehearse this, so.
Yeah, I think you wanted to do fast, right?
God, it's gonna kill me.
Yeah, sorry guys, we're so bad at this. Luckily, this is a once in a year thing for us.
Yeah.
There we go. Now we're cruising.
All right.
I love how it's adding trays into. That's funny. But
did it do it? Oh my god.
Oh shit! It skipped past
Jesus
us.
Christ. I am faded right now, I guess. Good lord. All right. Now we're good.
Okay.
It only took us 6 tries, but we got it. All right. So Browns start off with the 54th pick.
We gotta make sure they don't skip past. Okay.
All right. So we are going to
reject the trade.
Just reject that because we're not worried about trades right now. So, I want to see if it's going to show. Okay. So yeah, the team needs currently D tackle, O line, linebacker, quarterback, wide receiver.
Now, I don't know about you. I feel like all these needs too are just basically just reassurance for positions because we've already filled every position we could.
Yeah.
And we filled all of our needs. So this is just more of like, oh, somebody gets injured, basically, and we just need this guy here or whatever.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie to you. I would not be surprised at all if we still go corner here just because we're fucking insane. But to be not weird, I'm going to say it's either going to be like one of these two guys, or if we go offense, it's going to be wide receiver. And so let's have fun here. Let's just say that they take a wide receiver. I think they end up taking Jalen McClellan, or they could take just any of the speedsters that are still out here. It doesn't seem like any of the guys that I
Are you
wanted.
looking for the kid from Michigan?
Yeah, but he's gone by now, I think. So I'm just gonna assume
Yeah,
that they're gonna go with McClellan. So let's just go wide receiver
I agree.
again.
I
I can
fig
see it. I can
I get
definitely see AB going defense here, 1,000%.
this is
So
where I think we can go somewhere like a corner or something.
yeah.
Because he's gonna draft corner or some shit. He's gonna go crazy.
Well, let's see who we got at linebacker as well. I don't really know any of these fucking guys, to be honest. I've heard this
Um,
guy is one to look out for.
I've heard he was too.
Yeah,
I've only heard a couple of these guys. The biggest one I heard was DeCamerion Richardson. He's the biggest one I know off this list right
yeah.
now.
I just want to see. You know what? Let's just see best positional guys right here. So if we're just going off the best position here, okay, this is where things might get tricky. This is my opinion. With the uncertainty of Nick Chubb, do we go Blake Corum?
I was gonna suggest that just because that was my thought process. Because I know everyone's like, oh, he could play this season and stuff like that. I don't think he comes back until like midway through the season.
Yeah,
I think he misses the first, I would say, like 6 games of the season. And I think you can't just have Jerome Ford out there and
and have
you
just a
know
bunch of random guys out there as well.
yeah.
Like, because you don't
So
know who's going to step up there.
like for me, Naeem Hines is probably gonna be our biggest one,
Yeah.
but I think we
You know
need a
what? Let's have
reassurance.
fun here. Yeah, let's have
Let's
fun
go with
here.
Blake Corum. Let's.
Yeah, let's take Blake Corum.
I like the reassurance at running back.
Yeah. All right, so we're definitely going to get offered another stupid trade because this thing is annoying. So we don't have another pick until 156. We
And no
did not
trade.
get offered one. Okay. So
Excellent.
we have wide receiver and running back down. I don't think we really take a quarterback. If we do, let me see what quarterbacks are available. I think this is the only guy that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you really wanted a quarterback, I think Joe Milton is there. But I'm going to assume that because we've signed two different guys here, along with having DTR, let's just say we don't go quarterback. Let's not worry about that. I don't think we need tight end right here. This could be a defense of pick,
Yeah.
and I can see us going linebacker here. Tommy Eichenberg is probably my guy.
I would go with Tommy Eichenberg as well.
He's a great tackler. He's not really the greatest in the passing game, but
No.
exactly what you need.
He's definitely a run heavy guy, and he's
Yeah.
good in the run game, and that's what you've been missing. And he's somebody who can replace Taki Taki.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm gonna go linebacker there. It may not be Eichenberg, but I do want an OSU guy, so I'm gonna go with him. Personally. All right. So we have linebacker out of the way. Let's look at all here for a second. So
Not too many insanely barn burning guys that I would really want.
probably this is where we start trading back for like even next year.
Yeah.
I could totally see that happening, but again, this is without trades. So, if we're going to go with this, I want to see who's still at quarterback here, and there's not really anybody. Hartman could be cool, I guess, if you want Judge to random fuck.
Yeah.
We already took wide receiver. Let's see who's at tight end here. Not really anybody that I absolutely
Nothing
love.
crazy, no.
I was trying to see if what's his name from Ohio State was there, but he was not. So let's look it over. Let's look at tackle or even guard, because you got to think about two things here if you go offense. Obviously, Batonio is getting to that point where I bet you he's on his last year. I would not be surprised if after this year he calls it. You also have Wills, who's another guy that is on his 5th year. If he's gone after this year, he's gone.
Mhm.
So I can see them going a offensive tackle here, or even guard.
I think it's going to be tackled, just for the fact that also too we have to remember I can't even think of his name right now, who keeps getting injured but can't stay healthy. He went out in game number 1.
So yeah, let's just give the best one there. It
Yeah.
could be obviously any
I don't
of
know why I'm
them.
blanking on his name. It's pissing me off a little bit.
I know. Let's go all here again. So we have tackle. Did we already pick linebacker? Let me see. We did. So we have wide receiver, running back, linebacker, and offensive tackle down. This is where I could see Iowa Lee or somebody going there. I could see even Mark Perry going, although we don't really need a safety. Um, if we don't take Blake Corum, I think this is where you start finding another running back. If Barry decides to just not worry about running back, I guess, since we've signed so many guys. But I'm gonna go for the sake of that. I'm just gonna say we go D tackle there. Um, I'm sure he's a fine fellow. I don't really know him very well because this is the point of the draft where I don't know any of these guys.
Yeah.
And then at this point, I mean, I could see us going like, man, let's see who the quarterbacks are left.
Still, Sam
So I
Hartman.
mean, if you're gonna go a quarterback here at the very very end like that, Hartman's your guy. Um, I think you just go kind of best available here. I wouldn't be surprised if we go guard. I won't be surprised
Oh,
if
Jack
maybe this
Conklin.
is
That's what I was thinking of.
yeah, Conk.
Ugh, God damn it! Finally, just getting my head.
Mm, yeah, we really
I,
don't
I
need.
I definitely think if we do need defense, we've already gotten linebacker. I think we have corner kind of locked. I mean, if we end up losing Greg Newsome, but I think if anything, if we do go defense, it's got to be a D lineman or D
Yeah,
tackle. Um,
which we already went
we already
edge
went D
tackle last
tackle,
one.
so
So yeah,
I think we can just get a little freaky with this one and go with like Sam Hartman or something.
yeah. So yeah, I mean, let's just assume that like we're gonna get a quarterback, whether it be him or not. So again, this could be how this shapes up. It really just depends on how AB views our rooms. You know
Mm-hmm.
how he views the way that we've done it. Wide receiver isn't necessarily the greatest position of need, but with a lot of uncertainty there, it wouldn't be surprising if they go with a flashy guy right away. But dude, again, it really just depends on what AB does. You
Mm-hmm.
never know if AB is gonna decide to trade up in the first round and get whoever the hell he wants.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't surprise me if we go corner again because AB is famously known of saying you can never have too many corners. So you never know, especially
Yeah.
with the uncertainty of Newsome, Ward potentially with his contract. You never know if he's ever going to get moved or dropped. Whatever, you never know. Emerson is going to be the guy. Emerson's a freaking G, and I think he's the most likely to stay. And you have your safeties on lock. You have a pretty good D line. Um, so defense really isn't the only thing unless it's linebacker. So that's why I think Tommy Eichenberg is literally one of the more probable picks out of all of these. Because again, we are not a draft connoisseurs here. We don't spend as much time as the true pros that do this. So I don't want to take anything away from guys that actually do this like on a daily or on a weekly. We are just
Yeah.
fucking around here. Blake Corum is a guy though that if he falls in one of those rounds, I would love that kid. That kid would play perfect into this offense. He would play perfectly alongside guys like Nick Chubb. It would work so 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 well.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's how the draft dropped for us. It's going to be different. And I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen because we're already at an hour and 4 minutes, but that's pretty fun.
I
And
love
it was
doing
nice
those.
to do the present screen a little more. So I think we're going to do that a little more throughout this from now on just because we know how to work it. So yeah, it'll be cool to see what we can do with that. But yeah, that's how we think the draft's going to go. Overall, I'm just excited to see what AB has in store for us. I
Mm-hmm.
think last 2 years now, he's had some pretty good drafts, especially from last year. I think he had his best draft so far. We obviously came off one of our better years. So AB has a lot of momentum going into his favor. And so I'm really curious to see what he has in store for us. I'm really curious to see if he does try to move it up into the first round, even if that means moving a body out of this team and going after the guys that he really, really wants. So yeah, we'll see what he has in store. But overall,
Mhm.
Andrew, how do you feel about that mock draft? How do you think? What do you think could be different about that, if so?
I mean, there's so many different ways it can go. I mean, we could go with McMillan for the Browns. I still like the other kid from Michigan who's really solid, Roman. Um, but again, the draft's gonna go how it goes. Picks are gonna be very unexpected, especially with the normal mock draft that we did before the Browns won. A lot of that can get mixed up. I mean, it's gonna be the draft is just one of those things that's fun to watch. It's fun to do mock drafts
Yeah.
just to make picks and just pretend to be someone like a GM. But I hope nobody holds us to our picks and like what we've done because again,
Nah,
it's just for
I don't
fun.
think they will
No.
because
Although
we've been
I
kind
do
of
see on Twitter a lot of people be like, "Oh, why'd you put this guy here?" Like
yeah,
it's like, "Oh my god, it's just for
yeah,
fun. Like relax. Like who
yeah,
cares?"
yeah. We're not the
Draft.
pros. Like we don't watch these guys as scout teams and like the film and stuff. Like,
I don't go to
dude, we're not
Mobile.
scouts.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
go to Mobile, Alabama for the
yeah.
college camp that they do down there. That's the biggest one, and
And like I know
I'm
guys that are
yeah,
like I know guys that are really really good at this stuff, and that's why like whenever I do get into that, I love watching and seeing who they pick. I've been busy as a motherfucker. I cannot lie to y'all. I've
yeah,
been working like 60 hours a week at my new job, which has been great, but I've been working a lot, so I've not had a lot of time to actually dissect picks and stuff
yeah.
like that. So it's gonna be fun to also learn some of these players that I just haven't gotten to know, and really see what the Browns can do, but also see what teams in the NFL are gonna do.
Hmm.
Because as we both know, dude, the first round is always nuts.
Yeah.
There's always wild picks. There's always teams that are picking somebody that you're just gonna go,
Whoa.
huh? Like that is not how I thought this was gonna go at all. And it happens every year. So
And
that's
I,
another thing I'm really excited about.
yeah, and I think the biggest shock tomorrow would be if the Bears don't pick Caleb Williams and
I hope. I hope.
they pick
Pick
like Jaden Williams or something
pick Jaden Daniels, pick
or
Derek
Jaden
May.
Daniels.
I don't give a
Yeah.
fuck. Dude, don't do it to yourself. Don't lock yourself into this diva. He's talented, but he's gonna suck in 5 years or less.
Well, and it's
I'm
funny.
telling you.
The one thing I heard the most was, "Oh, the Bears just couldn't, Justin Fields just couldn't develop in Chicago and stuff like that." It's like because they never built around him.
Yeah.
They didn't give him offensive line help. They didn't give him receivers. They didn't build around him. What do you think they're going to do to Caleb Williams? They're not going to build around him. They're just going to let him eat dirt the entire time.
Yeah.
So, like, if he's going to be a bust, like, I don't think it's going to be personally him that's going to be the bust. I think it's the Bears that are going to bust him.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, listen, you're just going to do this no line help. We're not going to give you a fucking receiver. We're not going to give you offensive line help. Like, you're going to go out there, you're going to die, and you're going to die for honor, and you're going to die for the Bear.
Yeah.
Mitch Trubisky has done it. Everyone else has done it.
And I'm looking at Ian Rappaport, or whatever the hell you say his name, his
Yeah.
mock draft currently. And we weren't too far off on some of our picks. I think especially when it comes to like positional picks.
Yeah.
We were pretty close. The big difference that I'm seeing with his is he did not have the Giants picking a quarterback. He said that they were going to go Malik Neighbors, which is another LSU wide receiver. But he has the Chargers going with a tackle and JC Latham, which I think we had picked a little bit later in ours. So maybe the ranks weren't very great on that website. Who knows? Or maybe these guys are just popping out on certain charts, but like they have the Titans going a tackle, they have the Falcons going edge. Um, Bears going tackle after they pick Caleb Williams. They have the Jets going wide receiver, which I think we did as well. They have JJ McCarthy going to the Vikings, which I could also see if they really don't want to pick Penix, especially if McCarthy is still on the board and they pick between him or Bo Nix. It's probably going to end up being McCarthy, although I think Nix is a better quarterback.
Yeah.
They have the Eagles going tackle, offensive tackle, and then they have the Raiders going Penix, which I think is going to happen. I think that's the most realistic one. I think Penix goes there. They have the Colts getting Brock Bowers, which is a cool pick. I do like that. They have Seattle going corner again, which is weird. Jacksonville going corner. Bengals, they think, are going to get Byron Murphy. So yeah, a lot of different picks from certain guys, but for the most part, I think we were right on just at least the positional aspects of it. So that's cool. I'm actually really happy with how we did that. But
Yeah.
again, we are not the professionals here. We're just BSing. That's the whole point of the podcast. We don't take this thing that seriously. We love sports, but at the end of the day, man, it's just fun for us. So please
Yeah.
don't knock us or anything like that. I know we probably won't, but if anybody does, just know who gives a shit? Like we're just here to have
Hey,
fun, bro.
and if you guys like and subscribe, we could do this with
Yeah, for
we could do this
real.
we could
Like
do this with actual
seriously.
draft experts. Like we could
Yeah.
get real draft experts and how we could do a mock draft with them, and like that'd be fun. Like if you just like and subscribe, we could do that.
Absolutely. So yeah, I mean, if you guys like the vids and stuff, subscribe, like, comment, give us our thoughts on just like what you want to see overall
Hmm.
from the channel at this point because we're at episode 31 right now, so we're well into the pod, and I think we still have a lot more that we want to do. So if you guys
Hmm.
have any like things that you guys want us to talk about more, or just things that you would like to see us add into the show, put it in the comments, man. We're totally on board with uh, taking suggestions, all that stuff. I know once I get more in tune with my new schedule, we'll be able to do probably a little bit more. But for now, just trying to put out at least an episode a week, and I'm trying to tweet it out the day that it happens, and it always seems to get screwed over because I'm like, oh shit, that's right, the pod came out today. Whoops. So
Yeah.
it's been fun, but yeah, guys, that's how we think the draft is gonna go. But overall, I think we're both excited for the draft. I think we're excited about football starting to get back
Oh
into
yeah.
things because that's what this channel really started from is Browns, football and stuff. So, again, we got that. Cavs are also playing tomorrow, so honestly, Cleveland's gonna be popping. So I'm excited, man. I really am.
Yeah. No, I'm very excited. It's Cavs tomorrow at 7. Got the draft at 8:30 or 8 o'clock, so definitely gonna be watching both, and it's gonna be a good day tomorrow, man. Just enjoy, relax. Got the weekend ahead of us. We have the NFL draft. Friday's gonna be fun because we get to watch the Browns make a pick or a couple picks and kind of just enjoy it, man. We have a lot to be proud of for this Browns team. They've done some great things. They've done some great work over the last couple seasons, and I think this is gonna be a season to watch for the Cleveland Browns, especially when we get super healthy again with the likes of Nick Chubb coming back and if we can get, our offensive line healthy and Deshaun can return to somewhat of a normal level, and this team would be dangerous and fun to watch. So just be on the lookout. And I'm excited for this season. I'm excited for the draft tomorrow, and we'll see what our boy AB can do.
I mean, absolutely, and especially with how other teams in this division, especially draft, the Browns really need to bring their A
Mm-hmm.
game because I feel like every year the Ravens draft super well. The Steelers always draft pretty well for the most part. Even the Bengals hit on some really good hits. So like, Brown's gonna come ready to go. And I think that's why I truly think that AB is going to be having to make some trades. I know we didn't really include that with ours because I didn't want to overcomplicate any of the drafts, but I can see AB getting freaky. So that's what I'm also excited about is see what AB really has cooking because honestly, I trust fully in that man when it comes to draft time. I think he's a wizard when it comes to it. And especially his like mid round picks, he has really been starting to hit on those more. So that's what I'm really excited about for him. And
Mhm.
then after that, it's not going to be too much longer before rookie minicamp starts. And then next thing you know, guys, it's going to be June and July, and we're going to start having non-mandatory mini camps and then mandatory mini camps. And next thing you know, it's going to be July, and we're going to get ready for preseason. So get ready for it because it's going to flap really, really fast.
Yeah, and all we can do is get ready and get hyped about it, and it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a wild ride, but we're gonna be here covering every single bit of it.
Absolutely. All right, guys. Well, that is going to do it for us. Hopefully, the Cavs start off 3-0 in this
Yes,
series. Obviously,
let's go
tomorrow.
Cavs.
I think the game's on at 7 o'clock.
Yep.
And then after that, it'll be draft time. So yeah, guys. We hope you enjoy. Stay tuned for more. And as always, we will see you guys next week.